The consistent success has led to heightened expectations for the Horned Frogs. That's what happens, right? You win, they keep wanting it, right? I'm Lauren Shehadi. Dennis Dodd, our college football columnist, joining us now on the other line. This preview brought to you by Tyson Anytizers. Now, Dennis, no good news last week for Virginia. 3 quarterbacks they used, Dennis, but none were effective, resulting in a 26-14 home loss to William & Mary. Can they rebound against a solid TCU team?
One word, no. This was total.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, this was a total meltdown last week against William & Mary. You mentioned it. They used 3 quarterbacks. None of them were effective. 7 turnovers. Remember this name, W.B. Webb from William & Mary. He's a national player, defensive player of the week candidate. 3 interceptions against Virginia. 1 returned for a pick 6. It was a better week for the Colonial Athletic Conference in 1AA. It was the ACC. This was bad. Al Groh is on the hot seat. There was speculation that he might not even make it through the week. And this is not a good team to be playing in your second game. TCU, one of the few teams to be kicking it off in their season opener this week. There's not too many left.
That's right. It's their opening game in the Mountain West, still trying to prove, hey, you know what, we can hang with the big boys. Is this one good for their resume if they get the win?
Not as good as it looked before the season. You know, they play at Clemson as well. And people were asking Coach Gary Patterson, why do one of these teams is fine for a team from the Mountain West. 2 of these teams might be suicide, considering you're trying to get that BCS berth. But he blew it off, said they think they can do it. They're going to be fine. And I think they will be fine. I mean, this thing is working out great for them. Clemson doesn't blow you away. Obviously, Virginia, I think TCU goes in there and takes care of business by at least 10. Virginia's in total disarray. So this is a good deal for TCU right now.
Let's look at the rundown. TCU coming off an 11-win season. BYU knocks off Oklahoma. Don't forget about Utah. How good is the Mountain West?
Well, the Mountain West is very good, and all the talk this week is about BYU, obviously, after beating Oklahoma. But, it's so deep now that you wonder that if they can get through a schedule that does include Utah and TCU. They didn't last year. They went to TCU and got blown out 31-7 midway through the season. But they have those 2 games at home this year, and I think that's going to be significant in that if BYU does run the table and go 12-0, they will have beaten, they play Florida State later this month, they will have beaten 4 ranked teams. So that's pretty significant. There's not teams in the SEC that beat 4 ranked teams when they get through the schedule.
That's about a resume builder. We talked about how it's TCU's opening game. They don't have a record of opening game jitters. In fact, they've won their last 6. Who takes this one, Dennis?
Well, I think I already mentioned it. I think TCU goes in there and handles things. Jerry Hughes is going to have a field day. He's their All-American defensive end. They don't know who their quarterback is. They say when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. What happens when you have 3? Is it gene splicing? I don't know. I mean, they divide themselves up into thirds. Not very good.
That means it's a field day, right, Dennis?
Exactly. Jerry Hughes is going to get the over/under on sacks for Jerry Hughes. I think right now is about 4.
3:30 game time. Thank you so much for watching the preview brought to you by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty good man snack. We'll see you there, and we'll see you back here for the recap. Talk to you soon.